Hello guys, and welcome back to yet another video. We finally reached 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and that's a milestone I've definitely been working towards for a very long time. In the last few months, it's definitely become a reality, and it's finally happened. The last few months have actually been pretty good on YouTube, and I thought it was time I finally did a Q&A video. I haven't exactly done one of them in the last 3 years, and things may have changed a little bit, so I've got some of your questions on my laptop, and I think we're just going to go through them and answer them as thoroughly as I can. So, let's get started. So, first of all, RazHooked UK asks, what does your YouTube name mean? I definitely got a lot of comments regarding this. Basically, back when the channel was first created in 2006, when I was about 9 or so years old, my dad actually created the channel. His first name is Paul, and our last names are Sivewright, so Psivewri was sort of an amalgamation of both of those. And I never exactly changed it. As Austin Evans told me, he gave me some good advice. I should really rip that band-aid off before it's too late. And it's not exactly ruled out, but I could definitely change it in the future. Alright, question number 2. When did you start using eucalyptus oil? Now that's a very interesting question. Basically, it's a product that's been used in our household for many years, and I just started using it because it was one of the first things I found in the cupboard. And over time, it's become sort of a meme, and I've sort of rolled with it. People seem to like the fact that I'm using it. There are definitely some use cases where it is better to use something like methylated spirits or 100% isopropyl alcohol, which I've actually got a 5-litre drum of on the way. Next question comes from Henry Hill. What are the specs of your computer and any story behind set pieces? So my main computer is the one you see behind me. It has an Intel i7-8700K with 32 gigs of RAM and a GTX 1080 Ti graphics card. I've had it for nearly 2 years, and it has basically had no faults along the way. I've put an NVMe M2 SSD in it, and boot times are definitely very fast. I've had no problems with this machine, and I will definitely use it for many more years to come. And as far as set pieces go, I'm pretty sure he's referring to things like this plaque. This was actually sent to me by a guy called Pendleton, who sent me a few laptops and made this little plaque. I think he 3D printed it or something, and that is really cool, and since then it's featured in basically every video I've uploaded. The Stig 0002 asks, do you keep the computers that you review? I get this question quite a lot, and the answer is basically yes. Nearly every single computer I've ever made a video on, I still have. I don't exactly have them all on display, a lot of them are packaged away. You could say there are a lot of computers stashed around the house. Retro Kid on a Boat asks, are you going to start restoring phones in the future? Now, obviously, channels such as Hugh Jeffries have rose massively into popularity, and he primarily deals with repairing phones. This is an area I don't have a lot of experience with. I have fixed a few iPhones before that I've used for personal use, but I don't exactly have any intention of taking the channel in that direction. So, next up, Grandpa Joe asks, what type of cameras do you use? The main cameras I use are actually these Fujifilm X-T2 mirrorless cameras. And I bought these originally in about 2017, and they've been really good workhorses since. And the above table shots that are always looking down are actually filmed with this cheap Lumix FZ300, which was about $600 in 2016. I wanted to get something else, a newer camera, for this purpose, but they haven't actually released a successor to this. And I haven't found another camera that doesn't have any trade-offs, so I'm just going to keep using this camera until it dies. So, the next question comes from 32-Bit Link, who asks, what car do you drive? I drive a 2015 Hyundai Elantra, and it's been pretty good. I've had it for nearly 2 years. I bought it secondhand. The reason I went with the Hyundai Elantra is I wanted something economical, also something that's pretty safe and has good boot space. And as far as sedans with a very small engine go, I felt like it was a very good deal, and hopefully I can drive it for many more years to come. Next up, EJ Baraka asks, what part of Australia do you live in? By the way, love your channel. Thank you very much, EJ. I live in South Australia. Tom SK asks, what was the first notebook you ever repaired or upgraded? That's a very good question. I believe the first notebook I ever repaired or got working was this really old IBM ThinkPad. It was 300 something or other, which I got, I think it was in 2006 from the markets for like $20. It had a black and white screen and Windows 3.1 installed. and that was a lot of fun. iFadara asks, what is your real name? And my full name is Nathan John Sivewright. My username is Dumb asks, do you sell the laptops after you're done or just give them away? For the most part, I've kept nearly every laptop I've ever made a video on. A few of them I've either given to family, and I've also given an iMac to my girlfriend, but for the most part, nearly all of the laptops I've made videos on are sitting in a cupboard right behind the camera. Vote1Mac asks, will you ever do another Mac collection video, and what is your favorite vintage Mac? I could potentially do another collection video, maybe when I get enough space to be able to display it all, because a lot of it is just in boxes or stored away in cupboards. And my favorite vintage Mac, that's a bit of a hard one. I think I'm going to have to go with the original Tangerine iBook G3, the clamshell one. I just think it looks so cool. However, I don't actually own one. Iomi1 asks, do you have a job outside of YouTube? Yes, the answer to that is definitely yes. My main job outside of YouTube at the moment is live TV broadcast camera operation, and I do that throughout South Australia. Before that, I did a lot of freelance editing at a production house, and I was also a freelance photographer doing events and 21st parties. How many laptops/desktops do you have? Right now, I've got about 30 laptops and probably around 20 or so desktop computers. Replay YT asks, how old are you? I am 23 years old. Jackal CSM asked, when is your next restoration Mac video coming out? The answer to that was supposed to be this week, however I had some complications with the $150 Retina MacBook Pro. Hopefully the parts will arrive after I've gone on holiday and I can get back to that video, so maybe another 2 or 3 weeks. Mr. Mindbloxy asks, when did you start your channel? P.S. I want to be in a famous YouTuber's video. Well, that's quite flattering. I wouldn't consider myself famous in really any way. This channel was originally created back in 2006, so that's nearly 15 years ago. Next up, Mighty Potato Gamer asks, how tall are you? I am 6'2". Jimmy Dude Films asks, what happened to your Mitsubishi Magna? Do you still have it? I believe he's referring to the blue Mitsubishi Magna that I made a video on quite a while ago. Yeah, it was rear-ended. I got paid out. It was an uneconomical write-off. Technically, it could have been repaired, but it would cost many thousands of dollars to do so. And I didn't really have the time or the want to fix it up. So we ended up selling it off for about $500 for parts. And maybe it's out there being driven right now. Who knows? Why don't you post any more than one video per week? I can't wait. Well, the main reason is YouTube is not the only thing I do. And I'm just one guy. A lot of bigger channels have practically a whole team of people helping them with their videos. So I basically I can only work so fast. Next up, That Roblox Gamer asks, are you okay because Australia is still burning or has it stopped? So as you probably heard, in Australia there have been a lot of horrific bushfires throughout most of Australia. In South Australia there was the Cuddly Creek fire and also the fire on Kangaroo Island, which devastated about half of the island, which is definitely very sad. However, I've been fortunate enough where I live to basically not be in any danger. Akeem Machine asks, why do you love reviewing and restoring old tech? Now that's a very good question. I've pretty much been doing this since I was about 8 years old. Not like filming it or whatever, but you know, pulling apart computers, tinkering with things, and it's just something I love doing. It's just so much excitement and enjoyment that I get from doing it. Daniel Petru asks, what's your opinion about Romania? I know it exists and I know it's in Europe. Mihail Lapar, sorry, I'm definitely butchering your name. What phone are you using right now? Currently, I'm using the Galaxy S9 Plus, and I've nearly been using it for 2 whole years, and honestly, I've really enjoyed it. Felix Argyle asks, was there a time when you wanted to make a video about something, but you ended up not doing it because you were frustrated about something? Oh yeah. I think every tech YouTuber can agree they've got videos that they've had to shelve for one reason or another. My main one is a Macintosh Plus from 1986 that needs its analog board recapped, and it has a lot of other issues. I filmed a lot of stuff with that, however I haven't finished the video because I haven't been able to fix it yet. I'll be honest, soldering and component level repair is not something I'm good at, and I'm gonna have to leave that for the future. Matthias Varela asks, do you live with your parents and make the videos in their house? Yes, I'll be honest, I still live with my parents. I do pay rent and I'm pretty self-sufficient. Basically, my girlfriend has just finished her university degree and is looking for a full-time job. We're looking to move into a rental and I'm hoping we can find one that has a space I can make YouTube videos in. So at the moment, I'm basically just saving all the money I can and we'll see how we go. Next, we've got a question from John Grieve who asks, how do you get your hair so perfect? I don't know. I wouldn't consider it perfect. Like, I wash it and I brush it. Probably due for a haircut pretty soon though. BLN asks, tips on finding cheap technology / good deals. Well, one thing I'd say is you always got to be looking. If you're looking on eBay, set up a heap of saved searches for the specific items you want and make sure you've got it set to newly listed first. So you can just keep referring back to that and it will show you the newest listed items in that category. Also, if you do see something come up on Gumtree or Facebook Marketplace, if you shop on there, just be like, hey, I've got cash, I can come pick it up now. Don't wait. If it's a good deal, don't make stupid offers because they're just going to ignore you. If you see a good deal, you've just got to strike on it. And that's how I've found so many good deals in the past. Pendleton on Twitter asks, where do you buy your eucalyptus oil? Well, we get our eucalyptus oil from Woolworths. I don't actually know of any other places it's sold, but Bossitos, if you're watching this video, please sponsor me and send some eucalyptus oil over. That'd be much appreciated. Your videos always look so amazing, really clean and high quality. Would be interesting to see a tour or a setup or to know what your favorite gear is. Well, that's definitely quite flattering. I don't really think my videos are that high quality necessarily. I just try and do the best with the gear I've got. I'm definitely not about spending super high amounts of money just to have gear that you probably don't need. Like literally, I'm just filming with like 2 lights right now. One light right here and one blue light just to add some interesting color. So what's that, like 30 questions? So I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. And also thank you for 100,000 subscribers. Hopefully we get that little plaque very soon. I have been trying to reach this achievement for years and it feels so good to know I finally got there. So hopefully YouTube keeps being a nice source of revenue and I'll continue getting videos out when I can. So thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.